Okay, guys, thank you for joining us. I'm actually sitting here today with our CEO, Jeff Donnelley, and I actually have struck some time out of his busy day to sit down and ask some questions about him personally, as well as some questions about our upcoming NFT launch and project, as well as maybe if we can sprinkle in some discussions about our tokens coming out later this year. But we'll see where we get within the time I have. So Jeff, if you want to give a quick introduction of yourself for the people who don't know you.
Hi, thanks, Zach. Good to be here. So Jeff Donnelley, founder, CEO of MegaFans, mobile eSports gaming fanatics.
Wonderful. As well as for myself, I'll give myself an introduction. My name is Zachary Fingerle. I'm the operations manager here at MegaFans, and I help Jeff with a lot of things as much as I can. But the main purpose of what I have you here for today is discuss about the upcoming NFT project. I know we internally have had a lot of discussions, a lot of developments, especially in the last couple weeks, talking with a lot of partners and advisors. And I wanted to get the lowdown and overview from you, as well as we can dive into whatever seems interesting and we can see where this goes.
Yeah, it's exciting. So, the genesis of this, we started talking about NFTs, gosh, a year and a half ago, internally, early 2021. And, we knew they existed. A couple of us had dabbled in the marketplace back in the, earlier days when NFTs first started sort of rising in pop culture, 2019-ish, that sort of thing. But in 2020, our CTO Colin and I started talking about, when it was on our roadmap to implement different digital currencies into our ecosystem, and when and where and how and what were the questions. So we started chatting about it. And last year it got serious when the NFT market started to sort of get hyped in the global blockchain market. He and I started taking a close look at the valuations, what the use cases would be. We ideated and asked ourselves, a lot of questions. Would this be useful to our audience? How would it be useful to our audience? What can we do with this? It's a non-fungible token, meaning it can't be changed once it's minted. So what are the use cases for that? And where can we create value for the users? And so we spent some time ideating on that last year. And moving forward to this year, now we've tested it. Our audience has told us, yeah, we're interested in this, right? So we know that there's an appetite for it. We know that we've developed good use cases for it. And we know that once we mint and introduce next month our first collection of NFTs, that our mega fans and our followers and investors and friends and people from the gaming community should and will take these and use them in our ecosystem, as well as hopefully create value for themselves with them.
Wonderful. I know there's some questions we've gotten through social channels specifically about NFTs. What is the focus on community in what our project, not just in the NFTs themselves about building, but what MegaFans and its community means to the brand, the company, the entity?
Well, community is what we're all about. So our business is wrapped around the community, and we've asked the community to step up and to engage and to tell us what they want, what they need, what they like, what they don't like, and iterate our product according to that market feedback loop. So, the NFTs, I believe, mean a lot to the community. They've already told us, yes, we're interested in these. They already believe there's a value. Some of them won some of these early NFTs that we tested, that we minted and put in the market. We told them there was no utility for these, but they've won them and they've held on to them. And they've not tried to resell them. So that tells us they really want to engage with this tool. And so, I think, the big picture is we're trying to provide service and value to the community so that the community can then share and trade and communicate amongst themselves and with us to build a bigger community, but to create an ecosystem, and to, the word community is, I think, a little bit overused in the gaming space. But in our case, we have real core users, and we have a huge, massive global market that wants to come on board to the internet and to the blockchain and Web3 and whatever else you want to call it. And we want to be a gateway for that, right? We want to be a bridge. And I think the NFTs allow us to educate them on what these are, how they can be used, where they have value. And hopefully we can use that in the tool set, but then also just to be able to reach emerging markets that are just coming online for the first time, for instance, or, let's break down the world into tiered markets. You have the tier 1 markets. Those are the industrialized nations. Typically, we're the first to get these types of assets and be able to try these things out and play games and so forth. But then there's the tier 2 and tier 3 markets. Tier 2 markets are growing, younger markets, and they want to onboard too. And look, the next great gamer, the next NFT artist might be there, right, in that pool. And the tier 3 markets, which are just coming online for the first time, same thing. They're still people, they're still human, they're still, intelligent human beings. So let's give them all the tools and see what they can do. Let's invite them into this web environment, and give them what everybody else has access to. So that's really the goal here, is to grow our community rally around games, which are fun, and it's human nature to want to play games, but then also to give them the tools that are being used, in all of the other markets around the world. So really, it's a kind of a balancing equation of, how much can we give them? What do they want? What don't they want? Let's figure that out. Let's listen to them, and then give it to them, and then encourage them to onboard other people, onboard other players, and communicate with us and tell us, where to go next.
I know we've been working on the community council project that's been going on lately. We're interacting with a lot of our big winners and most frequent players and people that we're constantly in contact with, and getting their own personal opinions and thoughts about what we're doing and how we're moving forward. And I know I've been working closely with our community to see what we want to do and how we want to move forward for that type of stuff. So I completely understand where you're coming from. I wanted to ask, can you give us a rundown of what makes these new NFTs? We haven't necessarily touched on them yet. What makes the new NFTs that aren't our original ones so special?
Ooh, that's a good question. First of all, congratulations to you, Zachary, and the rest of the team for initiating that community movement that you're working on, right? The community council. So that's so meaningful to us, and you're formalizing the voices, right? And we want to be able to take from every single market and to make sure everyone's heard. And so that everybody gets a sort of a fair seat, equitable seat at the table. So hats off to you for doing that. I think that's fantastic. The utilities for this first collection of NFTs, quite unique. So we're giving the traditional utilities, which is, look, if you own one of these NFTs and you can buy it, you can win it. There will be trading that happens, I'm sure, in secondary markets, I'm assuming. And there's many ways to earn and win and obtain one of these NFTs. Once you have one, you have access to certain groups, private access to groups, and you'll get, depending on which level of NFTs you have, you'll get different sort of different functionality, right? And so we have a 3-tiered system that we developed for this first collection of NFTs. You've got your commons, which everybody has access to this group. And you'll have early access to special tournaments, some private tournaments, some auctions, and some trading opportunities. And as we bring in other tokens and NFT projects, there'll be other ways to trade and to share with them as well. In the tier 2, you'll get a few more sort of superpowers, let's say, where you might have access to a special room in a metaverse that the other NFT holders might not have. We may hold special tournaments. We are planning on having destination location tournaments eventually. And so you have access to some of those and some other features and maybe some sneak peeks at new products that we're coming out with. maybe new games. And we can geo-target with our games. We can have private access to certain games and tournaments as well, certain prize pools and other events. Then the premiums are going to have sort of I'll call it not carte blanche, but they're going to have the ultimate powers, which is early access to all of our other token and NFT projects that we're partnering with, as well as ours. Again, additional new games. They will potentially have a voting seat in a council where if we're trying to make a decision on should we partner with this one game studio that has this new IP that we want to bring on. Or we may give them naming rights of some tournaments as well. So there's all sorts of different functionality that we can put into these. The killer utility that we came up with for these was that you can rent or post one of the NFTs into tournaments and then get a share of the revenue from the community. And that's sharing from a community member to another community member. You can either give up your NFT, have somebody else win it. They can go on to do the same and gain value that way. Or you can put it up and just say, look, I'm just going to take a percentage from this. I'm going to rent it to this one tournament. We're going to build up the pool in this tournament. They get a gain. The players also get to win something. So it's community to community transactions that would be happening. And we're really excited about that because, first of all, it's unique. It's novel. We have not seen any other gaming environments utilize that. But secondly, I think it's going to enable the community to share with other community members. And I think there's a real advantage to building a following. Let's say you want to become an influencer and you can throw a turn. It's basically like throwing a party.
Yeah.
Right. But you're throwing a tournament and everybody gets to partake in it and share in it. And so I think there's a lot of sort of human need there that's being addressed. So that's really exciting. And we can't wait to see what happens with that.
I love hearing about it every time, specifically from you, because it comes with a sort of passion that you don't like. There's a lot of other projects that are out there, but hearing it straight from you and your like what you want from it and how we're building it adds a little oomph to it, should I say. But I wanted to hone in on one little thing you mentioned, if I can squeeze the information out of you. You mentioned the community might be able to vote on either new partnerships or even new games and try things early. Is there any news you can share about partnerships or upcoming games or anything in the MegaFans ecosystem? Or is that all locked up tight?
It was locked tight. We are coming out with an announcement, hopefully in the next day or two. We've already greenlit it. Actually, the name of the partnership is with Green Rabbit. Green Rabbit Holdings, which owns the Green Rabbit game, which is a complete metaverse environment with their first game in the environment. It's already built. It's live. Looks really cool. They've actually done 2 NFT drops themselves. They have a very strong core gaming community, and they want to gamify that community by offering eSports so that these people aren't just playing for points. Now they can play for things of value. And that's what our core offering is eSports systems, so that people can compete against other players for rewarded gameplay. So we're really excited, and that announcement will be coming out. I've been working very closely with their CEO, and it will be coming out later this week or early next week at the very latest. I think probably by the time this video is live, that'll probably be out in the news as well. So we're really excited. So are they. I actually met them at the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco this year, and we just kept dialogue going, and we had an interest, but now we found a really strong, they get the use case of our esports system, and I obviously get the use case of their wonderful metaverse and game that they've developed. So we think it's a really strong partnership, and that's just the first of a few. We're actually talking to 2 other metaverse environment gaming companies as well. I cannot name those yet. But plus we have several Web 2 game development companies as well. So apps and PC gaming companies that we're also talking with. So I'd say by the end of this year, we'll have 3 or 4 partnerships settled and probably 6 or more in the pipeline. So big opportunity for the rest of this year. We will see significant growth this year, but next year we should be in position for 10x growth next year.
I'm so excited for what we have coming. I know some of the little sneaky bits that you're running around behind closed doors. I see I see meetings going on, but I'm so excited to hear more about what's going on. And I'm sure our community is. I know when we can finally announce that we're bringing more games, I know that's one of the questions we get the most in our channels through Telegram and Discord is when are we getting new games? Or the other thing that they drive a lot of interest in is the tournaments that are going on in our games. And I know we have 2 new tournaments that are coming out, especially with our upcoming NFT launch and stuff. If you want to touch on those 2 new tournaments.
Sure, absolutely. So we just launched last Friday. It's not new, but we brought it back. It's a fundraising tournament for Code to Inspire. And Code to Inspire is the all-women's coding school that's operating in Afghanistan that we've been supporting for nearly a year now. And so we've done 2 other fundraisers for them. And it's not just about raising money for the school, which is really important. That's a very distressed environment over in Afghanistan, but also to support women in technology and gaming. And, we will be, we'll probably get first pick on some of their top graduates for some of their artwork, as well as their digital assets, games, and code. So it's a little bit self-serving for us as well, but we think that's a good way to build an ecosystem where, it circulates and we can help. So that's one of the tournaments. It's the Code to Inspire tournament. You can see it if you download Candy Boo or Crash and Win. It's in both games. It's live right now. All the money, 100% of the proceeds from the in-app purchases, and those are going to the coding school. And yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the takeover of the government by the Taliban. And so we were trying to time it around that. And then the other one is a little bit more of I would call it a much more exciting type of tournament compared to all of our other tournaments. So we are actually going to be giving away one of the NFTs before we mint. So somebody will earn a place for a guaranteed NFT from our menu. And there's more to come. So Colin Bracey, our CTO, my co-founder and CTO, just reached out to me this morning. He has a team that's going to be building a new game for us as well. So we know that our audience has been clamoring for this. We've been working on partnerships and developing those relationships, but we're actually going to be developing another pure MegaFans game too, which will give our audience complete autonomy, give us complete control over what we can do with that with our community. And so hopefully that'll be coming soon as well.
I'll say that's 100% breaking news. I didn't even know that yet, so that's exciting to hear about. Wow. Okay. Is there any news we can share about that new game coming, or is it still just?
It's breaking. This literally the decision just happened today.
Oh,
so
okay.
this is, but that's how fast we're moving,
yeah.
Right? We are a Web 2, Web 3 bridge company, right? And we're using mobile gaming and eSports to bring people, to show people what Web 3 is about, and to entertain gamers and to build a community where everybody can share and learn and trade and be a community. So that's we're moving that fast, right? We have to move at the speed of the internet, which is almost the speed of light. So yeah, things are changing almost weekly over here.
Yeah, I know it's been crazy, especially in the last couple weeks as we're ramping up to our NFT launch. We've been just our meeting times have like doubled, but yet we're still being just as efficient because we're just hammering away as fast as possible, getting as much stuff done. So I know it's like seeing a bunch of busy bees running around. I can't even imagine if we were in like a centralized office, what would be going on in that place. But I wanted to reach out to another topic that I think is very interesting, and it's more about the broad, I guess you could say, economic state of crypto right now. Is how has MegaFans weathered the bear market? I know we've had some discussions with other like companies and partners that we've seeked advice and we're learning from, but what is your take on how MegaFans is handling the bear market and how we're moving forward?
Yeah, as you know, I claimed from day one when the bear market was declared that we're going to build our way through the bear market, and we're doing that. We did have to bootstrap. We had to tighten up. We're running with a lean team. You're leading several projects. Everybody at the team and our team has stepped up on the business development side, business management, as well as definitely the technology side as well. And we've all been working long days, extra hours to get these pieces built that's so important to our community, to keep growing our community, to keep bringing them value. to keep building this ecosystem, right, for all of us involved. And that's so important. And, since we were product first versus a lot of other blockchain projects, I think it enabled us to, already have something solid that we could offer and that we could, expand on and build on top of and bring offering and bring value to people. So I think that was really important, but we had to bootstrap. I mean, we had to tighten up quite a bit on what our expenditures were. Some of our marketing, we had to bring in-house, for instance. We had 3 out-of-house agencies we were working with. We had to cut them loose and we had to take it over. I'm very fortunate to have such an effective team that's so dynamic and can pick up these pieces, learn them, take them to market, and continue building the business. So again, I'm thankful. I'm grateful for you, the rest of the team, our community. Everybody's been so supportive during this and I can see, the end, even if this bear market went on for another 6 or 12 months, which I don't think it will. But even if it did, I know we would be able to work our way through it. And so we're up to the challenge, and we are building and we are expanding right in the middle of this bear market. So as soon as it turns back to a bull market and the sun starts shining again, I think we're going to be in a very, very strong position to take the lead in this market and be able to bridge Web 2, Web 3 for the gaming community and the internet community at large.
Oh, I don't even know what to say to that. It's just so kind of mind-boggling. Like what I knew when when the bear market was first declared, I'm still new to this space as a whole. And you were like, guys, we're gonna get this together and we're gonna keep moving forward without a doubt. And there's not even like an ounce of doubt in you. And it kind of infected the rest of the team. We're all like, oh, yeah, let's just keep doing what we're doing and move forward even faster if possible. So I know you have an infectious happiness and encouragement that spreads to the team, and I love to see it every day. I did want to talk about what personally, I'm going to detour a little bit to Techstars. I know Techstars demo day was several weeks ago now, but I wanted to talk about what changed for you personally as a CEO, as well as what about the business change? What were the key highlights that Techstars brought to you personally, as well as to the business while you were in Ireland and during the accelerator?
Gosh, that's super exciting. So first of all, Techstars was the most amazing experience in my career. So I've been advertising and marketing for almost 25 years. I've owned 2 ad agencies, and I've been parts of many other startups over the years. And so I had a lot of experience under my belt when I went into the Techstars program, and I really didn't know what to expect. I was floored. I mean, completely surprised by, first of all, their support. Secondly, their tools, their education tools, the mentors and the people that are involved in that. They run by a mantra that's #GiveFirst. And that is, once you graduate from a Techstar program, you come back and you give back, right? And it's like the alumni coming back and giving back to the undergrads. But these people are real, and these are professionals, and these are the quintessential professionals. They're handpicked. I think they had almost 300 companies apply to the cohort that we earned our seat in, and they only took 10 companies. And so, they say it's the top 1%. It really is the top 1% of the market. This was their very first Web3 cohort in Dublin, Ireland. Hats off to Pete Townsend and Hugh McGurr, who put the whole program together and ran it, saw it all the way through, and they've continued to support us afterwards. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing. When Colin and I, we've both been in this market quite a long time. We've been building in our platform I started it 5 years ago. Colin started his own 5 years ago. We started working together 3 years ago on this project together. And we'd never seen anything like this in our careers. We were both shocked. By the time we were 2 weeks in, we were looking at each other. I remember Colin saying one day, "These people are really smart." Are they running circles around us, or are we running circles around them? We didn't even know. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that because of our experience and our presence, there was this great sharing and trading, and the group itself has completely stuck together. So even though we were all separate startups, 9 of us made it through the program. We're having every other week, we have stand-up meetings where we get together and we share. What are your biggest challenges? What are your biggest successes? What can we do for you? We're still working together like we're a club. And I think that's going to go on for many years to come. So Techstars is absolutely the best top-notch accelerator and incubator program, I think, on the planet. And that was our second one. I'm actually in the third one right now with Chainlink Labs. Honestly, Techstars head and shoulders above the rest. It's really, really strong.
That's incredible. I know I got to speak with, occasionally we were on different time schedules. So I got to meet with you and Colin, our CTO, about what's going on in Ireland. Obviously business, how you have to shift management over here and we have to run while you're asleep over there. And you guys were running basically double days. You'd finish a full day at Techstars and then hop on calls here with us in the States about, managing the day-to-day at MegaFans and how we're moving forward. I think Techstars was a realization point. I'm still I've been with MegaFans for over a year, but I'm still young in the span of MegaFans, and Techstars was a realization point for me. And I wanted to ask you, what was something that you learned, or like, what's a gut feeling you get seeing like, okay, you and Colin started this originally together, and now you've built the team, we've added on more people, we've taken on interns, we brought those interns on, we've reached Techstars, we graduated from Techstars, and we have this long list of partners. What is something that's just like a gut feeling that you have to say about how MegaFans has evolved?
How MegaFans has evolved. It's accelerating. The evolution has actually sped up because of Techstars. They claim that it's 2 years of business building inside of 13 weeks. We didn't take that to heart when we first started. I wouldn't say we didn't take it seriously. We heard it, but we didn't know what it meant. It really was 2 years of building in 13 weeks, which is exhausting. We couldn't believe how much we got done. We'd never worked that fast or hard in our lives or that passionately.
Yeah.
So it brought out the best in us. It brought out the best in you and the team. It brought out the best in all of us here at MegaFans. And that was so incredible. Honestly, a humbling experience. And it's just been amazing. And like you said, it's still going. Like, it really gave us the validation, the personal validation that I think every executive team needs of, am I on the right course? Am I working on the right thing? Are we really giving back to the community? Is this really meaningful to them? What good can we do in the world? All of those human questions that come into your mind, on a regular basis. It answered all of those. Yes, we're doing the right thing. Yes, we're building a community. Yes, we're giving them value. Yes, we're doing humanitarian, managing humanitarian issues as well. So it really just sort of reset the table at a higher level for all of us. And I think that has just been incredible, and I can't be grateful enough for it.
I remember I actually got to sit in on one of the earliest meetings when you met with Pete and Hugh. And they forewarned, they're like, it's a grueling time period. It's just, you're doing 2 years of growth in such a short period of time. It's gonna like mentally exhaust you. You're gonna run out. The gas tank's gonna run low. And I think they mentioned is like, when that gas tank runs out, what do you do? Do you keep crawling forward and making it work, or do you kind of fizzle out? And that's what Techstars finds in the companies and in the people. And I think it's something special.
Well, 2 words: Red Bull. Yeah. So I was sort of known as the Red Bull person in the shop, because every day around between 3 and 5, sugar-free Red Bulls, mind you, but every day between 3 and 5, I'd look around and I'd sneak over to the fridge and I'd grab just an 8.4 ounce Red Bull, and I'd say, I'm just getting a little energy here, but that would keep me going for the next 2-3 hours, right? The other thing was the people in the group were so energetic themselves and consistently. I mean, everybody was exhausted. We'd prop each other up. If somebody got tired, if somebody had a bad meeting, bad call, okay, we'd work together. It really was this family of separate companies helping each other, and the support was just incredible. Laura Walsh, who was representing Alphabet, who funded that and through Launchpool, amazing person, still mentoring us today. So I can't say enough about Techstars.
I only have a few more questions that we can touch on today. One is, I want to get a little more personal and learn about you as a professional, not just as MegaFans, but because you, uh, how can I word it? You're steamrolling MegaFans forward, I guess I should say. You're riding the bull forward in the sense of I want to ask, what tip would you give to young entrepreneurs in both the space of crypto as well as their careers in general?
Fundamentals. Stick with the fundamentals. Businesses, if you're going to build a business or a community, stick with the fundamentals, right? What are the basics, right? So have a real value offering, right? Be transparent. Share, take criticism, use criticism. I learned that a long time ago. Humility is incredibly important. And so learn, listen. This sounds so old school, but it's true, and I practice it. So I wake up every day and I think about, what can I teach someone today and what can I learn today? And they're both equally important. I don't want to be in the room just teaching people all day. That's a one-way conversation, right? I want to be learning from them as well. One of the reasons that I bring in younger team members, such as yourself, is because you know what's happening today. You're at the forefront of the next phase. Mm. And so as we get older, we need the younger people to tell us what's coming so that we can prepare for it. And then we can give them our little pieces of wisdom here and there. But every day it's equitable. Age doesn't matter. It's just a number, right? It's really about what can you get and what can you give. So give first, right? Hashtag give first. And so really, I would just say, listen, learn. You have two weapons on the sides of your head. They're called ears. Use them, right? Listen to people in the conversation. Listen to what they have to say. Ask questions. Be curious. Being curious is absolutely required to be a successful entrepreneur, okay? Because that's what drives you. What drives you is asking what's next, what if, that sort of thing, right? Question everything. Be curious, listen, learn, teach, and try to be good, try to do good. And so that's important as well. So I consider myself a humanitarian, not perfect by any means, make lots of mistakes. And when I was young, I was rash and ran too hard. And, I ran into walls once in a while, sometimes literally. You learn over the years what to do, what not to do, what to avoid, what to, approach and what to attack. And so problems and that sort of thing. So problem solving, something that I love to do. Curiosity helps me do that. I think just, all the above, just be a person and be yourself, just, that's what I mean by being transparent. Be yourself. We all have opinions. We all have our different perspectives. If you can listen to somebody else's perspective, you might learn something and it might change your perspective. You never know. And equally, you might be able to teach them something that changes their perspective as well. But as long as you do it respectfully, it's good. So those are all important pieces to me, important aspects of life.
I think the two things I want to really latch on to what you said is you should give and you should get. And in that sense is, I think when I got brought on, you were very much taking me under your wing. You were happy to, and a couple of our other employees that were brought on is you're like, all right, do you guys understand this? I want to make sure you guys are with me and learning. And you would sit us down, like we'd get off a business call with an investor or an advisor, and I'd have questions and I'd just ping off you and you're just reciprocating back and forth. And then I think a lot of that also builds into the being transparent. You bring us in because of who we are and you let us be who we are. I know I am probably the most self-appointed devil's advocate at the team right now. I poke a lot of holes in just about everything. I don't like to say I'm a cynic, but it seems to come out in meetings and when we're proposing new ideas. But I know we get that little bit of spark from everyone on the team that brings something different, whether it's influencer knowledge or just that new, fresh eyes on the project from a different angle. I know a lot of teams and a lot of just companies, everyone talks about it, but it's truly practiced within. And I know it's something that truly creates something special, especially when we're just working so close together. But that was what I wanted to pick out of that topic.
That's great.
I do have the final closing topic I wanted to talk about, if you can. I don't know what you can share about. So we discussed our new NFTs. What can you share about our upcoming tokens? What are they called? Is there an official date? When is that going on? How are they used in the tokenomics and the economy of MegaFans? Give me what you can.
Well, I'll put it up. It's M-Bucks.
Mm.
So that's going to be the name of our token that we're coming out with. We're expecting to launch October 1st. We do have to keep a close eye on the market. So that's our current position, assuming that the market's doesn't even have to be favorable as long as it's in stable condition. These are going to be governance tokens. People will have voting rights with these tokens, and that's really important to know. And look, we're putting enough tokens into the system to build an economy. They will be used within, they have strong utilities within our ecosystem. They can be traded for our NFTs and vice versa. NFTs can also, if they're in enough value, be traded for M-Bucks. They can also be traded for our off-chain tokens. And we're going to eventually have a 2-token system within our games. So we're going to have several different currencies circulating through our economy within our ecosystem. That's extremely important. And it's complex. It's like building the economy of a small country, but it's for a gaming company. So it's fun, it's challenging, it's exciting. Again, we're trying to build value for ourselves and our community, right? So it's for the business, but it's to grow the business, to give that value to the users at the end of the day. And remember, we're a B2B2C company. So we have our mobile eSports software development kit that can integrate into any game, not even just mobile games. We're starting with mobile first because we are mobile first. That's the largest pool of players in the world. It's also the fastest growing in the world. But they can take that SDK and they can iterate it, modify it for PC games, for HTML5 games, for Web3 games. So our system, our esports tournament rewarded gameplay system can be integrated into any game. And that's extremely important. So that's the B2B case. But it's also B2B2C. So the consumers get the value. They get the rewarded gameplay. They get to learn about these economies and these assets and these digital currencies and whatever else comes next. We're bridging Web 2 and Web 3 today and beyond. What's Web 4 and what's Web 5? We don't know yet, but our system will be able to bridge all of those. Gaming will always be here. It's been around since the beginning of time. People like to play games. It's human nature. So we're just using that as the rally point to build a community around that wants to have fun. We want to make sure everybody plays fair and that everybody gets an equitable seat at the table. And that's our humanitarian issue, but that's just a human issue.
I'm so excited, actually. I'm excited for I hate saying I'm so excited because I'm excited for so many things that it kind of gets, the statement itself gets redundant, but I'm so excited for what we have in the future. And I know we've had some discussions about what goes beyond. Obviously, what are we building now, but what are we doing in a year and 2 years from now to keep moving, keep evolving? But I'm excited for where we are and I want to keep trucking along. So I wanted to say thank you for being on with me today. And do you have any last final statements before we head out?
Look out for the Megaverse and the Mega World. To be continued.
Little hints. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thanks, Zachary. It's a pleasure to be here.
Bye.